inside the homes of the richest world leaders. If you want to see the luxurious life that the 1% live in, subscribe and click the bell, that way you never miss a video. Being a world leader is much harder than you think. It requires dedication, hard work, the ability to put on a smile at any occasion, and you need to be comfortable living in some of the grandest houses in the world. Some world leaders earned their lavish palaces the hard way, but most of these people inherited them through their jobs or bought them with the money they took from their people. These houses are beyond anything you could believe. The smallest of them is at least twice as big as the White House. Make sure you stay until the very end, where we talk about a mansion that's kept so hidden and secret that some people wonder if it even exists. First, let's look at an ex-president of the United States of America, Barack Obama. He has a net worth of $70 million, but if you take into account his wife Michelle's worth and their joint holdings, it's closer to $242.5 million. The Obamas aren't known for their lavish lifestyles, but when it comes to their house, they didn't hold back. Built on Martha's Vineyard, a quaint Massachusetts island that everyone from the Kennedys to the Clintons have visited, the 6,892 square foot estate was sold to the Obamas for $11.75 million. Situated on 29.3 waterfront acres near the Edgartown Great Pond, the impressive estate, which was built in 2001, features 7 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, and a powder room. It also boasts an elegant master suite, complete with a fireplace, as well as 2 guest wings, a 2-car garage, a sun deck, boathouse, and a pool. Now to Europe, and Sergio Mattarelli, president of Italy. With a net worth of $13 million, Sergio is the poorest person on this list, if you can use poor to describe that kind of wealth. As president of Italy, Mario is given the sole use of the Quirinal Palace. This monstrous palace is 1,189,412 square feet and is located outside of Rome. That's over 20 times the size of the White House. Built in 1585, it was originally a summer house for Pope Gregory XIII. Now, I don't know about you, but my summer house is much less impressive. Foreign dignitaries are received in the Great Hall of the Cuirassiers, and the room can hold up to 350 of them at a time. The palace also features the Pauline Chapel, which is designed to mimic the Sistine Chapel and has had 4 popes elected in it. Just across the border lives the president of France, Emmanuel Macron. His net worth is $31.5 million, just a fraction of the cost of his $1.9 billion home, the Elysee Palace. Located on the prestigious Rue de Faubourg Saint-Honoré in Paris, the ornate palace, which was completed in the 18th century, totals 118,000 square feet. The palace is decorated exactly as you would expect a French provincial palace to be. The Silver Room is one of the many highlights of the house, and is where Napoleon abdicated his throne after losing the Battle of Waterloo. Now to Turkey, where Recep Tayyip Erdogan lives in the White Palace. And this palace really does make the White House look like your everyday family home. The official name is the Presidential Complex, but it goes by the nickname White Palace. Covering 3.2 million square feet, the palace cost an estimated $1.2 billion to build. The grounds feature a mosque that can house 3,000 worshippers at a time. Supposedly, there's also a bunker underneath the house, which houses a top-secret special operations team. They receive information from CCTV, 3G signals, UAVs, and any other form of surveillance they can get. From the bunker, Turkish secret services are able to track anyone anywhere in the country. So be careful who you annoy next time you're in Turkey. Queen Elizabeth II has palaces across the United Kingdom. But we're going to focus on Buckingham Palace. With a net worth of $500 million, you would expect the Queen's London residence to be lavish. Built in 1703, the palace covers 828,000 square feet, and in the unlikely event it ever ended up on the property market, would cost just over $5 billion to buy. The palace contains 775 rooms, and the largest private garden in London. When foreign heads of state visit, they get to stay in the extensive Belgium suite, well out the way of the royal family. China's chairman Xi Jinping is the first billionaire on the list, with a net worth of $1.2 billion. Zhongnanhai is a former garden of China's imperial city and has the Forbidden City as its next-door neighbor. The compound is completely off-limits to civilians and has thousands of plainclothes military personnel protecting it, covering 65.34 million square feet. It's actually bigger than the Forbidden City and operates as the headquarters for China's communist government. The 600-year-old property is worth an estimated $31.2 billion and comes with all the expected necessities such as a tennis court and indoor swimming pool. The second ex-president of the United States of America on this list is Donald Trump. With a net worth of $2.5 billion, you already know his house is going to be incredible. After moving out of the White House, Trump had a number of mansions he could have gone home to, but Mar-a-Lago was his residence of choice. He bought the mansion in 1985 for around $10 million and has since converted much of his house into an exclusive club. The Florida-based mansion was a good investment for Trump, as it's now worth an estimated $160 million. When the Trump family took over the residence, they did extensive renovation work, including adding a 20,000 square foot ballroom. Financial trouble in the mid-90s meant Trump had to convert it into the holiday resort it is now. That wasn't a bad decision though, as it brings in over $20 million of revenue a year. Now for someone you may not have heard of before, the Sultan of Brunei, Hassan al-Bolkiah. With a net worth of $28 billion, Hassan al is one of the richest leaders in the world. He's been the head of Brunei since he was 21. And is one of the last absolute monarchs in the world. His official residence is Istana Nur al-Iman, considered by the Guinness Book of World Records to be the largest residential palace in the world. What does that kind of record get you? Well, the palace contains 1,788 rooms, which includes 257 bathrooms, a banquet hall that can be expanded to accommodate up to 5,000 guests, and a mosque accommodating 1,500 people. The palace also includes a 110-car garage to hold the prized pieces from the Sultan's 7,000-car collection, an air-conditioned stable for the Sultan's 200 polo ponies, and 5 swimming pools. In total, Istana Nur al-Iman contains 2,152,782 square feet of floor space, which is lit by 564 chandeliers and 51,000 light bulbs. It was built in 1984 at the cost of $1.5 billion, which is approximately $4.1 billion in today's money. You could buy the Boston Celtics for that money and get $500 million in change. At only 39 years old, North Korea's dictator Kim Jong-un is the youngest world leader to feature on this list. He's actually the 4th youngest leader in the world. His net worth is estimated to be around $5 billion, but considering so little is known about him and the fact that he basically owns North Korea, it could be far larger than that. Ryongsong Residence, or the Central Luxury Mansion as it's known to locals, is Kim's main residence. The 128,240,640 square feet of palace was built by the Korean People's Army in 1983 under the direction of then leader Kim Il-sung. Obviously, the secretive communist nation is hard to get into, never mind getting a look at the leader's home. But there are some reports on the property. The complex has an underground wartime headquarters, protected with walls with iron rods and concrete covered with lead in case of a nuclear war. There are numerous military units stationed around the complex to protect. As well as army personnel, the area is also surrounded by an electric fence and minefields. Ryongsong is connected with other residences belonging to Kim by tunnels. A private underground train station is also included inside the resident compound. Beside large houses and well-tended gardens, there are man-made lakes and various recreational facilities. Witnesses have reported luxurious interiors with ornate furnishings, deep plush carpets, and fancy chandeliers. The Olympic-sized swimming pool supposedly has a large water slide as well, showing that despite being a tyrannical dictator, Kim is still a child at heart. Before we move on to one of the most secretive homes on our list, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe and click the bell icon. That way, you'll be the first to see our next luxury video. Also, comment down below and let us know what your favorite home, or should I say palace, on this list is. The final ruler in this video, Vladimir Putin, claims to live in an 800 square foot apartment on a salary of $140,000. That's what the Kremlin says anyway. Many experts believe his net worth could actually be upwards of $200 billion, putting him up there with the richest people in the world. His lifestyle gives away just how much money he really owns. The Russian president's main residence is apparently a cliff-top mansion overlooking the Black Sea. It is rather quaintly called Putin's Country Cottage. There's nothing quaint about the extravagant property though. The only reason we have any idea of what it looks like is because of leaked photos from Putin's political opponents. The estate is Putin's playland, boasting frescoed ceilings, a marbled swimming pool lined with statues of Greek gods, a 27,000 square foot guest house, spas with traditional hammams, a musical parlor, dressing rooms for all his staff, an amphitheater, a state-of-the-art ice hockey rink, a Vegas-style casino, a nightclub equipped with stripper poles, a bar room showcasing more than $100,000 of wine and spirits, an underground tasting room overlooking the water, and much more. It is rumored that the house doesn't even exist, but some investigations estimate it cost the Russian people $1.4 billion to build. You weren't expecting him to pay for it out of his $140,000 a year salary, were you? Click the video on the screen to see another luxury video.